Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So, I am going to read to you out of the source, and it's not very long. And I'm going to snip over, or like, how would you say, slip over, snip over to another article. And I'm going to be pretty thorough and pretty concise about this. So, of those of you who don't know by now, um, people know Michelle Obama, the former President Barack Obama's wife. And the lady to the left with the blonde hair is Tommy Lahren. And so, for those of you who are not informed on who Tommy Lahren is, she is an American conservative political commentator and a former television host. And she hosted Tommy Lahren, or Tommy on the Blaze, where she gained notoriety for her short video segments called Final Thoughts, in which she frequently criticized liberal politics. And so I don't know if you also have saw Tommy Lahren, where she has had a lot of hot button speeches and made a lot of hot button comments that nobody has addressed. I haven't heard anybody from the Black perspective, that is, address Tommy Lahren. Well, nobody that I know of that I can right off the back say that have had the guts to come out and say anything. It's always someone of their persuasion who is in opposition of their politics that comes out and says something. So recently, more recently, Kathy Griffin, if you don't know who she is, she was the comedian who was blackballed, or treated, in other words, as if she were blackballed by Donald Trump because she did, you know, a comedy skit that didn't go over well with him, and it had his head pictured as if it were severed. So, anyway, she recently slammed, Kathy Griffin slammed, as it says, dime store Barbie, Tommy Lahren. Kathy Griffin lashes out at Tommy Lahren for a Michelle Obama comment, and then you can see here. So it always takes somebody of similar persuasion. The only difference is Kathy Griffin is not, she's not a conservative and a right winger. And I would assume that she herself is also a liberal. And so nobody, in other words, who is Black, or at least I haven't seen, had stood out and commented on how they feel about this woman, Tommy Lahren. She says a lot of things that are very, very controversial. And even the president backed her. And some people had criticized, why did he back her and her free speech, and other people can't speak? So anyway, I'm going to get to this article. It's out of the source, and so it gets to more detail of what this woman had done more recently that has sparked some attention, and much attention that people have been responding to her, that they're not very pleased with this woman, Tommy Lahren. So she tells Michelle Obama to sit down. Whale defends former FLOTUS. A former lady of the U.S., okay? So on Monday morning, this actually is by a Miss 2B's, September 26, 2018, so it was very recent. So on Monday morning, Tommy Lahren scrutinized Michelle Obama for standing behind her husband, former President Barack Obama, and all of his accomplishments. Tommy told Michelle via Twitter or by way of Twitter to sit down after Michelle said that Barack was a great president. By what measure? Not in economic growth and not in border enforcement and not in strength on the world stage. Sit down, Michelle. While fans from both political gatherings can bicker about how great of a president Obama was, the thing that irritated folks on Twitter was Tommy's tone of talk and the advising of Michelle Obama, former lady of the US, to take a seat. That part didn't sit well with a lot of people. So MMG rapper Whale happens to be one of those individuals who wasn't that happy about it as well, along with Kathy Griffin. So he couldn't let this one slide and needed to check Tommi Monday evening asking her why is she so mad. So he wrote and he calls her Tammy. Tammy, when we stand, you're mad, and when we kneel, you're mad. Why are you so mad, Tammy? Tammy, when we stand, you're mad, and when we kneel, you're mad. Why are you so mad, Tammy? And so this was from a rapper Whale. So Tommy, Lahren, and Whale have had their share of beef over the past over Whale mentioning Tommy in a song. So he got Tommy frustrated for calling her Tammy, in quotes, in the record. So hence the reason why he revisits their old feud by calling Tammy in his recent post defending former lady Michelle Obama, or former lady of the US. Your president is a pathological liar. Your president is ill-equipped to run a business, let alone a country, and this is referring to Donald Trump. The walls are closing in, though, Tam. This is by Whale, the rapper. Well, we are sure that this is just the beginning. And so this up top is Tomi Lahren, and she's to the left of me, and to the right of me as a former lady of the US, President Barack Obama's wife, Michelle Obama. And so this woman, Tomi Lahren, is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she's also, been supported by a lot of right-wing and extreme right-wing conservatives. So recently, Kathy Griffin also got in on this and slammed Dime Store, as she calls it, Barbie, in which I have it entitled Bargain Barbie. Tomi Lahren for Michelle Obama comment, which I will go into this. So Kathy Griffin, this is in Huffington Post Politics, Kathy Griffin slams Dime Store Barbie, Tomi Lahren, for the Michelle Obama remark and comment. And so there's a video behind it. If it plays, it plays. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not really here too much for the video. So I stopped it. So this article is by a Jenna Amatuli. And so conservative commentator Tomi Lahren on Twitter after Lahren told former lady President Obama to sit down, in quotes, after she called her husband, former President Barack Obama, a great president. Oh, really? You Dime Store Barbie? Miss Obama may go high, but I certainly won't. Griffin wrote on Monday, go F yourself. And so basically, she spouted off how she felt with no remorse. And so she shell of a human being. Sit down, Michelle Obama, at Tomi Lahren says. Oh, really, you dime store Barbie. Miss Obama may go high, but I certainly won't go. And I certainly won't. Go F yourself, Tommy. You evil, horrible shell of a human being. So, Tommy Lahren, Michelle Obama said that we had a great president by what measure? Not in economic growth and not in border enforcement and not in strength on the world stage. Sit down, Michelle. So she's basically attacking Michelle Obama. And on Monday, Lahren angrily tweeted about a speech the former first lady gave at a rally in Las Vegas. So she's been on the attack for Michelle Obama, this Tommy Lahren. So Michelle Obama said that we had a great president by what measure? This is in Tommy Lahren's words. Lahren wrote, ending her tweet with, "Sit down, Michelle." Okay, so you could see her tweet here, and you could see that it's verified that it's Tommy Lahren and that she's the one that made the statement. And you see all of the likes. 3K, like what she had to say. So, but however, you got 29.1K people that are talking about it. And that could be people that are not very happy about it, and with a mix of commentary of people who are in opposition of those who are not happy about it. So that post sent Twitter users to a tailspin, with Lahren's mentions regarding the tweet serving as a battleground between Obama supporters and her own fans. Michelle Obama was speaking at a rally for When We All Vote, a nonprofit initiative she co-chairs that aims to register voters ahead of the November primaries. And she talked about putting qualified people that we trust in office. Because, right now they have this issue with Kavanaugh and some of all these other people that have either they've walked or they've been questionable and they've had to leave for different specific reasons, and we see it on the news every week. So here's what we have to do. Michelle is saying, if we want qualified people that we trust, then people have to vote, because you can't vote some of the time and then sit out, she said, before adding about her husband. We saw that happen and we experienced that, but we had a great president. Okay, so this is her making her speech right here. And so Michelle Obama urges people to vote. Michelle Obama, if we want qualified people we trust, then people have to vote. Griffin has lambasted Tommy Lahren, several times on Twitter before. Earlier this year, she quipped that many dipshits are named Tommy, or Tammy, rather, just a few weeks ago. Griffin tweeted that Lahren didn't even know the difference between digital and broadcast, and called her very thirsty. And so this was by Jenna Amatuli, trends reporter, Huffington Post. And so I'm saying to you, Tommy Lahren, you need to sit all the way down. So this is entitled, Tommy Lahren, Bargain Barbie Needs to Sit Down and Shush. You need to sit all the way down. As a matter of fact, take 2, 3, 4, 5 seats and sit the hell down. What did Michelle Obama do to you, girlfriend? You have some issues, clearly. On the attack for somebody who isn't on the attack for you. So if you want to make your comments about liberals, have at it. But here's the thing. To be on the attack for people who are not attacking you, you're wasting your breath, wasting your time. If you're about your politics, then be about your politics. But to be on the hunt and attack Former lady Michelle Obama, who is not said one thing against you, not one ill word. You are weak, girlfriend. You're weak. You're weak. You're wrong. You're out of line, and you're stepping too far across the line. You need to take several seats and sit the hell down and shush up, because we've heard you, but we ain't hearing you. And we don't want you telling us what we need to do and what we need to believe, because we don't believe in you. We see that all you think about is one thing, is trying to get on top of people's necks. And we know who that is. People who are vulnerable, people who are poor, people who don't have that privilege that you so have. Obviously, you are a sociopath on the hunt to attack people, not just because of their political position, but also, too, I would say, because of their not having status, not having any money, and not having the same background as you do, ethnically. So you need to take several seats, girlfriend, and sit the hell down. Be quiet, bargain Barbie doll, because what you say is void and null. And so I thought I should put that in there, because this woman, she is always saying this and that and running her mouth and telling people what they need to do. And she thinks she's Miss Tough Cookie. Well, there are a lot of tough cookies and tougher cookies than you out there. And so if you don't watch it, that pretty smile can be wiped away quickly. So I would say, on behalf of Kathy Griffin, I agree with her. And maybe we need some Kathy Griffin to go in there and rip this woman a new one, because she is a pain in people's behinds with her statements and her getting on Twitter and getting on social media and trying to belittle, basically belittling Michelle Obama, who has not said not one ill word against her. She's taken the high road. Well, I'd have to applaud Kathy Griffin on this one. Most definitely. And sometimes it does take one of your people that look to be like you, but they are totally against what you stand for in policy. And so, anyway, I'm going to say this. This is true, what Michelle Obama is saying. If you want to get the right people that are competent in these political seats, you're going to have to be proactive, and you're going to have to vote. You're going to have to do your part in it to vote. Otherwise, you can't speak on it and you can't complain on it. And that's the way this country is basically run, political wise. And you're going to have these commentators that are going to come out, such as Tommi, Lahren, and Ann Coulter, and some of these other ones, and Breitbart News, to highlight all of the ills of and mock people who are poor, or people who are disadvantaged, or people who don't have the status and class that others claim they do, or hold in seats, and they're not even competent to hold these positions, but somehow they get in there because they have some body that they know that is patting them on the back and that pushes them in those seats. Just like we have right now. President Donald Trump is trying to push Kavanaugh in the seat of SCOTUS, because it's all about the conservatives and the Republicans and the right wingers and the extreme right wingers and what they believe in, and building their border walls, which he started. And that money, he says they got the money and they're going to get more money, but they don't have the money to help people with housing They don't have the money to help the homeless. They don't have the money to help these people who don't have food and shelter and clothing and basic medical care. There's always an excuse for why as to they have to cut those programs, but they've got money to build walls, which anybody can build tunnels. They can fly over stuff. They can crawl under things. And we've seen that thanks to some people that we've seen in the news in the past that they've tried to, apprehend, that so elaborately showed us how they can tunnel their way all the way from where they came from all the way here to the US if they'd like, even out of a cell. They can build tunnels underground, but we've got somebody that thinks he's smarter than them and he can build walls. And where's that money going? Nothing but to waste. How long is that wall going to stand? How strong is it? And what can permeate through that wall? What about the weather elements? How much are you going to have to spend to revamp that wall if it doesn't hold up? And so I don't think those questions have been asked as well. Is it one of these walls that he claims is impenetrable? Well, that's what he said in a lot of his campaigns. But we'll see. All of it is extremely juvenile. But anyway, you can see what the right-wing extremists and what they're backing and their mindset is about. Since they're supposed to be so educated and so smart, and Ivy League and this and that, we know where that gets you. And so that gets you Tommi, Lahren, and Brett Kavanaugh. And that's just to name a few. We've got some others out there who think they're bright. They're bright and they're well equipped to lead this country. They're about building walls because you can't get through those walls, but you definitely can get under those walls. With that being said, since these smart right-wingers think they have all the knowledge, I wonder how far down does their wall go, since we've got people who have outsmarted them on several occasions, showed them that they can not only fly over the wall, but they can build under those walls. With that being said, I'm going to let this video go, and thanks for listening.